I don't know why I keep looking at the time. It's not going to get any longer, right? I have 25 seconds. Hey programmers, welcome back. In this video, I want to switch things up and do a fun little coding challenge in real time for all of you. So in this video, we're going to try to create a to-do list application following that classic CRUD paradigm. So I want features along the lines of create, read, update, and destroy, and we'll see how many letters we can knock out in CRUD in just 30 minutes, right? So we probably won't get very far. We'll give it a shot though. And along with that, what we'll want to do is actually be sure to implement these features on both the front end and the back end to have it really be a full stack application, right? So to knock out a letter out of CRUD, we're going to need to have the front end and back end for it. So a few disclaimers before we start. This is definitely not going to be a classic tutorial. This is going to be more of a challenge speedrun. So I'll try to narrate what I do, but don't expect to learn too much from this video. It's kind of going to be very rapid fire stream of consciousness. I will be doing this in full stack JavaScript, probably like Node, Express, MongoDB, React kind of stack. And along with that, I'll try to keep my copy and paste to a minimum unless it's like documentation code, which I think is fair game. And finally, before we jump in, I just want to mention the inspiration for this video. Lately, I've been receiving a lot of messages from like current viewers or like old students of the channel, kind of asking how you can get so like proficient with like coding on camera, especially. And the truth is, like, you never do. Really, I edit the heck out of all of my tutorials, right? Which is probably why you don't see me mess up in like a silly way. Obviously, if I mess up in a way that's like fruitful for a student to see, then I'll probably leave it in the video. But most of the times, if I just mess up spelling or I just like sneeze or something like that, I will of course edit it out. But I think in this video, well, I'll keep it fun, and I actually won't edit out any of the coding portion. So what you will get to see is me mess up a lot, and it'll be very, very frustrating for you to watch, right? But if I've had the pleasure of teaching you in person, you probably see me mess up a lot anyway. All right, so let's jump right in. I am going to start by using create React app. I think that's fair game because you probably don't want to watch me just set up a Webpack and all that jazz, right? All right, so let's do it. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so let's do that create React app thing. So I'll get all that boilerplate, create React app, and we'll call this to do front end. So that will take horribly long to install. It's already been 10 seconds. This is not gonna work out well. Let's, I guess in the meantime, set up our backend, which I have to manually create. So I'll do make dir, we'll do to do backend, and I'll initialize this as an npm package, npm init, nice. And what do we need? Well, we're gonna need Express for sure. I'm gonna use MongoDB as our database, and we'll also use NoDaemon. So if you're not familiar, NoDaemon is something I can use to quickly watch files in my backend, just have some hot loading, and that is also slow as heck. My internet is trash. Let's create an index file in our backend in the meantime. So this will be my entry file. So some standard Express setup. No, let's do Express. We have to require that. It's been a minute since I've actually done this. So require Express. That'll give us the module. Focus, Alvin. And we'll create our app, which is just an invocation to Express. So I need to begin my backend server. We'll just run this guy on port 3001. And I hope this works. So if it works, well, console.log. Work, please. This is gonna be so bad. All of you are gonna unsubscribe. All right, cool. And maybe to start, I don't know, let's give it some initial route. So if we make a get to the root, then what I'll do is I'll just send some arbitrary, we'll send some JSON. We'll just say, did this work? So my backend's done installing. Let me spin up the backend. So I'll do NoDaemon, and we'll run my index.js. Work, please. Okay, so that's good, no errors. And in the backend, go to localhost 3001. Did this work? It did work. Hooray. All right, cool. So now that we have at least our backend not totally garbage, why don't we work in our database, which I actually don't know how to set up offhand. So how do we do like MongoDB Express? It's a very common stack, right? Maybe some of you have even used it. So I already installed MongoDB. I'll probably just copy this boilerplate. What version do I have? Why would they even do that? 3.5, all right, so I'll grab this 3-bit. Copy and paste, the secret to programming. I usually do this off screen, just kidding. So we'll do that. Why is this var? I'm so frustrated. All right, and what we'll do is we'll take out all of this weird mammal example stuff. Instead of animals, I'll call my collection and database to-dos, Nice. That's my zip code. Just kidding. That's just like the default port, I think, for MongoDB. And why don't we just see if this throws any errors? Who cares, right? So that's a warning. Not an error, but I should probably fix this. So pass that option to the constructor. All right, it actually tells me how to fix it, which like never happens in programming, right? Let's do that. And it fixes it. Okay, cool. Don't ask me what that does. I have no idea, but I don't get a warning, so let's go with that. So let's maybe throw down an initial route for all our to-dos. I'll make this like semi-restful. I'll try my best in 30 minutes. How long has it been, by the way? All right, it's been 4 minutes. We are screwed. Time dilation is a real thing. Let's do a get request to /todos. And yeah, I'll just get everything from my database. So db.collection of to-dos. And I'll find everything, turn it to an array. And this does support promises now. I know that's a thing. So I'll say await those to-dos and send back them to-dos. All right, I just want to get like 2 letters out of CRUD done. Await is only valid in an async function. Look at these excellent error messages. Async await. Nice. And I'll hit 3001 /todos. And I get a massive error, what I always wanted. Let's see. DB is not defined. I guess that means that DB is not defined. All right, of course, because on line 11, I need to create like a nasty closure thing. So let DB, this is horrible. So now over here, I can reference DB. Oh, and there's my empty array, right? Makes sense, it's empty because I don't have any to-dos. Why don't, maybe in our connect, we'll just always seed some like fake data. I don't know, so we'll do this thing. In our to-dos collection, we'll insert many to-dos. The beauty of MongoDB, I could just throw down plain old JavaScript objects. So what's our schema for a to-do? We'll have like a done field. Oh my God, I can't spell. We'll have a done field and we'll make a Boolean, so true. And we'll have a description, some text. So we'll say write code, and we'll add a few more of these. So write code, fix bugs, and profit, and maybe we'll make this one false to play around with. So it looks like our schema for to do, we have 2 fields, right? Boolean as well as some text. All right, so let's save that. How did that look? Massive error. Oh, I didn't do the async thing again. I'm gonna do that a lot in this video, I can tell you that already. Let's see that. Cool, so there are my 3 to-dos. All right, so I can almost have read done out of CRUD if I support this on the front end, right? So why don't we actually just do that? So over here, I don't want, so now I'm on my front end, right? I don't want any of this like weird boilerplate from Create React App. And I will do minimal CSS. Don't ever expect a CSS tutorial from me because I'm trash. Probably just use a library. Index.js, we don't need this thing. Let's just try to render something. We'll say hi. And let me spin up our front end. To do front end. npm start. Let's go. All right, so come on, so slow front end. Just give me the hi, there it is. Any errors? Negative, all right, we're good. So let's try to do that fetch request, right? So here's what I'll do. I'll have another component. We'll have a list component. Probably, I don't think I'll take in props actually. Be my main component. So I'll do like the Ajax request here for my entire list, which in that case means I'll use some hooks. So list is gonna be stateful. Also gonna need to do like a use effect because I want that like component did mount behavior. Let me just set that up, right? So we'll say I'll have some to-dos and I'll have set to-dos. We'll do use state, classic React pattern. And yeah, let's create the function to make the Ajax, right? So we'll say const fetch to-dos equals an async function. And I'll just make my fetch request here, which I love how fetch is native now, right? So we'll say fetch and put my stupid route. What was it? Localhost 3.1 / to-dos. So I'm making a fetch request. By default, fetch does a get, pretty sure. And so we'll await that. That'll give me my response. And then I'll turn that into JSON, which we have to actually await, which I didn't forget this time, but I always do in other videos. So I think for now, we'll just see what we print out. Yeah, let me do the use effect on this too. So when we mount this component, we'll go ahead and fetch to-dos, and we'll pass in no dependencies to watch. So let me at least render this list. That's bad. Massive error. Nothing was returned from render in the list because that's exactly what I did wrong. All right, return, I don't know, a div with a list inside, who cares? Error, protocol error, because this is not secured. Boop, is that better? Another error, different error. Cores, Express, the bane of my existence. So I guess that's like the shortcoming of Express, right? It's so lightweight, it's so fast, but it doesn't come with like anything out of the box, right? You have to install all this like middleware manually. So this is a common thing. So, oh my gosh, npm install cores in my backend, and I just do this. So just use it as middleware, kind of standard stuff in Express if you want to do cross-origin stuff. Then I'll say app.use cores, and you invoke it. Yeah, okay, cool. So that'll give me cross-origin abilities. Let me spin up my backend again. Oh, I'm so bad at typing. No daemon index. Alrighty, let's see. Back in our app, refresh. Oh, I see to-dos. Why do I see 6 of them? What's that? I put 3, right? Oh, that makes sense actually. So because I have no daemon running, it's gonna rerun this entire file every time I save it and make a change, right? If I save it right now, it'll probably give me like a whole bunch more. Yeah, I have 12 now. Because it's gonna just keep adding to my collection over and over again. So maybe I'll like drop the collection every time as well. So db.collections of to-dos, and I'll delete everything before I add 3. That way I'll just have the same 3 to mess around with. Why am I getting an error? What do you want? db collection delete menu is not a function because there's a random s here. Fine. Let's see. 3? Perfect. All right. So now that I have those 3 objects making its way to the front end, let's try to render them. How much time do we have? All right. It's already been 10 minutes. Oh no. Let's just create items, right? So const items, little item singular. This will be a presentational component, so we will have some props. And I'm going to assume that we have a to-do prop passed in, from which I need to grab done and description, right? Those 2 properties, done, description. And what I'll do is, well, let's return that as a div for now. So div, put the description in there. Let's see, and now for our list, we need to render those. So let's map over it. So to-dos.map. For every to-do, take the to-do, turn it into an item component. And I need to pass in a prop of to-do, which will be that actual to-do object. Let's see how bad this is. This is probably not gonna work at all. So what's happening here? I'm not rendering. Oh, because I need to add these, right? So I need to actually save these. Const items equals that. Throw down these items, should work. Still not rendering. Because I didn't even set state. So I don't want to console.log. That was just for debugging, right? So set to-dos of that thing. Let's see that. There we go. So warning key, need to pass in a key, that annoying React thing. So I think my to-dos have a, yeah, they have an ID, which I automatically get back from my database. So I'll just use that. Should be unique, right? That's the whole point. So over here, for my key, I'll pass in to-do dot underscore ID. Extra brace. Cool. All right, so I'm getting some output now. I think at this point, why don't we be somewhat reasonable? Why don't I add a little bit of CSS? I will use like a CSS library though, so I'm a huge fan of semantic UI. But we gotta do this quick. So I'll just use a CDN to get the CSS file. No, that's the JavaScript. CSS. These are every individual component. That's horrible. I'm not gonna look through those. Yeah, let's just copy the link tag. Copy link tag, sure. And I'll throw this down in our index HTML on our front end. So right here seems reasonable. Alright, so that should give me some free styles. I'll just apply some classes. And what do I want to do? Well, we have like a list item paradigm, which I'm pretty sure is a thing in semantic UI. Semantic UI list? I don't know. List formats. I guess we can choose. These all just look like LIs and stuff. This one seems reasonable. Oh, why is it so much? We'll just copy and paste. I will probably just take everything out. Yeah, so that'll be our list style, which I guess, we'll just throw down here. And our list has items. I actually don't need any of this. Yeah, let's just do that, right? Because those are just items. So here I'll render my items. And now my item needs a class of item. Oops, where's that? Class of item. Yeah, that's simple enough. So class name of item. Cool. All right. Yes, I did mean class name. Amazing error messages. Okay, so that was a lot of work just to get these lines between them. Let's add like a little container thing. I kind of want this. That'd be cool because that just automatically looks nice. I think that's called like a card. There it is. Nice. Those are. I don't want any pictures. Those are weird. This one seems basic. Yeah, let's copy this. So this gives me like, it looks like 3 different sections of a card, which I guess we'll also just bake into our list, right? So yeah, huge stuff here, and I'll just take out a lot of this. So that'll be like one content section. This is another one. They just put a lot of boilerplate in it. This one too. So this is just like the header. That's simple. We'll just do like to-do list fast. That's my heading, and then in the middle bit, we'll throw down our list. How does that look? Of course, I gotta put class name. That's gonna take a lot of time, right? All right, and then from there, that looks okay. Why don't we add in that bottom section? We'll add like the input for adding the to-do. So that'll give us the create aspect of CRUD. I guess we just have read done right now, which I guess is pretty fair. I'm not really doing anything with the done yet, which is kind of annoying, but we'll save that for later. So let's work on the creating part. So we'll add like an input. I think we have some free styles in here, right? You have inputs? Yes, you do. All right, cool. So just some nice inputs. Don't want any loading stuff. These buttons that could be useful. This one looks nice. I like that color. I'll steal this. Master of stealing code. And let us, why is this wrong? Oh yeah, input in React is probably self-closed, right? Cool. So I have my extra content. Let's make all of these class name. I don't want the copy icon, right? That's weird. Let's make it a plus icon that has to exist. Nice. And we'll say add here. Even nicer. And let's start filling in these props. So our value, we know we want this text to actually work in the React way, so I have to make a controlled input. So we'll assume a text slice of state, which I'll do right now. Text, oh no, set text. Nice. And then why is this bigger than its parent? I think in semantic UI, you can have it like respond or react to the parent with by saying fluid. Oh, amazing. Oh. So we'll do that. And now we'll want to actually make this a controlled input. So I can't really type into it. So like they say, right now we have a value, but we don't have a change handler, right? So on change, now I'll probably just do this inline for the sake of speed. So we have some event, which we will set the text. That was my hook from before. Oops, set text with the e target value. How are we doing? Let's see. All right, that works, but I cannot submit yet, which is fine. So I don't have like a form because I just didn't do that because I'm dumb. Let's maybe just put a on click on the button. Yeah, let's do that. So on click, I'll probably create a callback for this. So we'll say add to do. So when we click, we'll fire this callback, which we'll have to do some Ajax. So I'll maybe just copy this. So we'll call this my add to do singular. And this will have to make a post request. So I know for this we can say like method post. By default, fetch as a get. I absolutely don't remember the headers I need. So mdn fetch. Reputable documentation. So I want the application JSON header. That should do. That way I can send some JSON over the wire. And yeah, I'll need a body, of course, too, for the to-do I'm adding. So what do I want in the body? Well, I only have 2 fields, right? Yeah. Done and a description. So I'll pass in a plain object of the description, which I guess is just the text. It's weird how those are different names. I guess who cares? And I guess we need done. So I'll just default done to false. So when you create a new to-do, it makes sense that it is not done, right? So it'll be false. And then from there, I think that's it. Let's try to support this on the back end. So we need another route. We'll make this as restful as we can. So let's make a post to-dos. So post. And now for the to-dos collection, I want to insert one. I'll just insert the body, right? So I think I sent over the wire I sent the entire object as the body. So that should work. Not the best pattern, but you know, what do you expect in 30 minutes? So I will just arbitrarily send back. Please work. Cool. So post. Nice. Let's try. All right, add to do. So does this work? Oh, it did not work. Oh no. Backend error. Type error. ID undefined. I hate that. It's like JavaScript always says that whenever anything's wrong. Let's debug this. Maybe the request body is undefined. Let's see that. So refresh this. Work. And what do we have in our errors? Yeah, it is undefined. Yeah, express. I'll probably have to. Yeah, I need that middleware body thing. Express body. Yeah, express. I don't think even comes with. Yeah, does not come with body parser anymore. So I have to install it myself. So we need the middleware to actually parse JSON out of the body, which sounds ridiculous, but you know, it's somewhat an advantage of Express when it's so light. And we'll just do the standard middleware use thing. Wow, this documentation sucks. All right, here, let's take, yeah, we need this, take this. So get that middleware and we'll use it in its JSON form. Bam. All right, so can I parse it now? Show me the money, let's see. So I'll spin up the backend. No daemon index. Nice, and will you work? Oh, so there's the object that it received. I didn't get an error. I don't have an auto refresh on the front end, so I have to manually do it. And there's my work. Ooh. Yeah, that totally works. All right. So in the front end, we'll just have it automatically just fetch all to-dos after you post one. Not the cleanest of patterns, but it will work. So after you add a to-do, you're going to assume it works because there's no way my code could be wrong. And don't do any error handling. We'll just fetch all them to-dos. And I guess while we're here, why don't we set the text to actually be blank? That way it empties out. Ooh, nice. All right, so that's working. Let me take out this little debug. So I think we have create. I also think we have read. How much time do we have? We have 8 minutes, so we probably only have time for either one of update or destroy. I think destroy or delete is probably the quickest to do. It's kind of just like post, but the opposite, right? Let's have like a button to click to delete stuff. So maybe the front end first for this guy. Let's, under an item, give it an icon. So I could just steal this, I guess. And I'm pretty sure there's like a trash icon. Yeah, nice. I love semantic UI. Let's make it red. When you don't know CSS, you can just like summon these properties, right? Red. I can even say stuff like right floated. Yeah, and I'll just make this a button. I won't even make an actual button. I'll just put an on-click on it. So I think that's possible. So when you click on the trash can, you want to do a callback called delete to do. Nice. It's not defined. Of course, I didn't define that. What am I even thinking about right now? So we'll do const. No, we're going off the rails. Const delete to do, and we'll do our Ajax or our fetch for that delete. So async, and that'll be kind of similar to this. I'll just copy this, right? So the thing about deleting though, I need to identify exactly what I'm deleting, which I'll make kind of RESTful. So over here, we'll pass along the ID, right? So I'll do some interpolation. We'll say slash. So the route will be to do slash the ID of that to do, which I think we receive automatically, right? Yeah, I have underscore ID. So I can just pluck that here, I think, ID. So that'll give me a nice delete, and I don't need any of these headers anymore. So just delete. I'm just going to assume it works for now. Now let's try to work on that on our back end. So I need a delete to slash to do's delete of to do ID. Nice, and I think there's just a delete one. That doesn't seem complicated. So I'll do delete one, and I want to delete the one where the ID is the thing in the param. So request.params of ID. And I know in Express, or rather in MongoDB, I can't just use the string of the ID, which is super annoying. So I'll say posted, and here I'll say deleted. I have to like cast it as an object. So I need to grab that. This is annoying. Let's take this out. So from the MongoDB module, we want to destructure out Mongo client, and also there's an object ID constructor thing. I know that exists, and I have to actually cast this first. So object ID like that. So I'm going to delete one document with this particular object ID that they specified in the route params. So let's see how that goes. Oh, actually, before we actually test it, before I forget, let's just test it. Let's try deleting something. So I'll refresh the page. Let me add something like new. Oh, I got an error? Why? Posted is not defined. Did I make it a string? Posted, I meant a string here, yeah. My bad, let's try that. Refresh everything. Boop, new. Now I'll delete profit, boop, refresh it, and it's gone. All right, we're good. I have to manually refresh it. So after we delete something, we want to refresh the entire list, kind of using a sledgehammer here. Yeah, I'll just fetch everything. This isn't going to be very pretty. Let's get that fetch to-dos down inside. So I have to pass that as a prop, I guess, right? So fetch to-dos, pass that along, and we'll just have the child fetch all the to-dos over here. So I can say props dot fetch to do. So actually when we delete, we'll just refresh the page, or really the single component. So let's do that. Boop, boop, nice. And yeah, this information is actually durable in our backend, right? That's the point of using MongoDB. So we'll say 1, 2, 3. I dig it. We'll delete one. Nice. And then from there, how much time do we have? 3 minutes, 30 seconds. We don't have time for an update. I know that. Let's just go as far as we can. We'll see what happens. So one thing I'm not happy with is we're not using done, that true false thing. Let's like render some check marks or something. So maybe before the description, we'll add another icon. And I'm guessing there's like a check icon. Where are the icons at? Icons. We get like a nice check mark. Check. Nice. And here we'll grab. These are real check marks. Let's grab this one. Check, square, outline. So over here, yeah, I'll make it like a check, square, outline, and we'll make it green. How does that look? Nice. Let's do a left loaded so it's all on one line. Cool. And now let's have it be conditionally rendered, because sometimes done is false, right? So we'll make this bigger. We'll say, hey, if this thing is done, then go ahead and use a green checkmark thing. Otherwise, I'll just render, it's probably just like a regular square, right? If I do square outline. Yeah, let's do floated square outline icon. Oh, so both of these are done false by default. Let's reseed our database. So I'll just add like a random comment here. So that should reseed. There I have it, right? So I have green check marks for the things that are done and empty boxes for things that are not done. How much time do we have? We have 1 minute 30 seconds. Let's try to make this toggle. That'll be annoyingly hard. So basically, if they click something that's done, I want it to be not done, and vice versa. So for both of these, we're out of time. For both of these, let's do an on click, and we'll do toggle done, and then I'll add another callback for that. So nice. We'll say toggle done, and we'll make it a nice. So it'll have to be like a put request. Yeah, so we'll make a put request. Oh my gosh, and I'm gonna need all of this because I do want to send a body over the wire, right? Poop. Yeah, so we'll do that. Nice. And for my body, I think I'll just do a full document replace, kind of going for the quickest solution. So we want to invert the done boolean. So I'll say done is not done. And for now, we can't change the description. So we'll just say keep the description the same. Nice. So we're making the correct request, I think. And I don't know why I keep looking at the time. It's not going to get any longer, right? I have 25 seconds. Let's try to support this on the front end. So I know at least what I'm going to do on the front end is, yeah, actually I'm already doing it. I fetch all the to-dos after I toggle one. Okay, so going to the back end, let's have that put route. So if we put, we definitely still have to state the ID, but I want to do, we'll just do a replace. Oh, and that's time. All right, we got pretty far. I'm pretty happy with what we got down. So we did create, we did read, and we did delete pretty well. Since we're so close and I can almost taste it, let's actually finish up and just have this thing at least toggle, and I'll be very satisfied with our update, right? So going a little over, but I can't help it. Let's support this on the back end. So when I make a put request to the to-do with the to-do ID, I'm going to replace, I think I could say replace one thing where the ID is that ID. And I think I can also, yeah, I can give it the new document, which will just be quest.body, yeah. And I'll call this putted. Well, made it up. Let's try that, right? So in our front end, let me create. So I refresh it, right? Because I just add some code. Let's toggle this. Haha! And there's our toggling. So I'm considering that pretty okay. Let's try to test all these features. So we have our create, where I can add stuff, new thing, nice. I have my read just by like getting all of these things, and I have my update. I can toggle, right? And that state is actually saved on my back end. Nice, I can keep refreshing, and it's durable data. I can also delete stuff by clicking on these garbage cans, which is pretty slick. All right, so I'm gonna consider that like 32 minutes, right? We'll call it a truce, I think. All right, programmers, there you have it. That's our full stack to-do list in just about 32-ish minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely had a good time making this different kind of content, and I'll see you in the next one.